Thank you very much for the interview, first of all.
No worries.
Ugly Kid Joe, what a big.
Yeah.
I was hearing everything about you on a radio in Paris, rock radio, named in that time Canal 9, and I was hearing it in Tunisia when I came back on holidays. Um, lot, it's for me, it's a big pleasure to have you and to have this conversation.
That's awesome, man. Cool. It's nice to meet you.
So let's talk about that time. Now you're on Download Festival. First question: is metal scene really changed from the business has changed? I think that everything has changed from that time.
Well, that's true, and that's based in the computer, right?
Yeah.
So the computer, because you can like if you and I started a tennis shoe company, right? You can't download a tennis shoe, so we might be successful selling shoes. But with music, based in the computer and based in the easily accessible universe of the computer, you can download songs for free, which inadvertently destroyed all the labels because there's no money to be made. That's just how it is. So it's changed in that way. It's also liberated a lot of bands. Like you could go make a record in your mom's house and maybe someone will like it. You know, you never know. You can go release stuff by yourself, which is kind of interesting. In fact, it is interesting. Yeah, I mean, what is the only certain thing that we have is change. So it is different. And there's lots of everything's also secular, meaning there's a big circle of it all. So different scenes come, different scenes go, but rock and roll will never die. You know this.
Thing that changed is the relation between the musician and the instrument, because in those days when you have to learn guitar,
Yeah,
you have to have an ear.
that's right.
Now you can go to internet and have a software that make you to say how you make this solo and these things.
Well, the computer, Pro Tools, and all those kind of things, in my opinion, makes you very lazy and makes the music suffer. So if you think about the Beatles back in the day, right? They had 4 tracks, and that producer, their fifth Beatle producer, he split those 4 tracks into 8 tracks. So when you had to sing or perform or whatever it is, you had to do it right then, which forced you to evolve as a musician. Now with Pro Tools, you have, infinite amount of tracks, which is a luxurious thing, but it also, because innately we all, including myself, we're all lazy. We can be lazy. If given the chance to be lazy, I just might be lazy. So what happens then is you start, the music suffers because you don't have to shine. You can use Pro Tools or Auto Tune or whatever it is, and that's just once again it's a different thing. But the thing I like to do is I try to stick to the script of imperfection. Like if there's anything that we collectively, I think the humans like, is imperfection. Why is that? Is because we're imperfect, right? So I have a new band. I just lived in Australia for a year. I have a new band called Yellow Cake, and it's we walked in the studio in St Kilda, Australia, with no songs. With this guitar player named Jeff Curran. He's amazing. He's a left-handed guy, plays a right-handed guitar, not restrung, and the way he attacks guitar and his sonic prowess, his guitar tone, is second to none. So we walked in the studio in St. Kilda, Hot House Studios, and we made 4 songs. I'll show it to you after this interview. And so that's totally imperfect and awesome and dirty and alive. So we purposely didn't go down that rabbit hole of Pro Tools, which will kill you. So, and plus there is no definitive right or wrong way to do anything. If you make whatever kind of music you make and it gives somebody joy or inspires someone, then that's okay. But as far as the evolution of the player, which I think is what you're talking about, there's a lot lacking because of technology. If you don't have to work as hard, in my opinion. But that's okay, I know what I want to do sonically, and I know what I will do, and yeah, something like that.
But technology is something that how you say is. Salut. Eh, c'est bon, c'est bon. C'est pas du direct. It's not live. It's okay.
Yeah, hey, there's bigger,
That's not live.
there's bigger problems than that.
Yeah.
That's a good
Okay. Not so much.
Not so much. You like,
Yes. And you?
you like. High five.
Uh, Technology is meant to not to be lazy. It's meant to make more with musicality.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. I just think that less is more. So, and music isn't that complex. Like a rock band shouldn't be that complex, and to me, it's not. So, and once again, there's many ways to the mountain. There's many ways to do things. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody that you can see around you knows what they're doing. I just like things raw and dirty, and that's it.
Yeah. Ugly Kid Joe, when the everything about you came, it was fun. It was wrath. It was rock. It was joke.
Yeah.
It was happy.
Yeah.
But when you see Download Festival now, there's not many bands that are happy.
Well, that's okay. You know, I mean, let's just say it out loud. Heavy metal music, and in fact, it's absurd. Like heavy metal shows with their crazy skull faces and all that shit. It is comedy in a sense. So, I mean, the main thing is of course I'm an artist, but equally I'm an entertainer, right? So I appreciate anybody who'll get up on a stage, doing whatever they're gonna do. And you know, you look at a fan base that comes out and they're letting go. They have their lives. I'd imagine people have their lives and their jobs and their families and this and that. So it's a great outlet. But it is silly every now and then, and I laugh, you know, because I get why it's silly, you know. You know, I'm from California. I like smiling. I figure at the end of my life, and I hope I live a long life, that you'll see my face, and I will either have smile wrinkles or frown wrinkles. And I figured that I'm going to have some smile wrinkles. So, you know, make some sick riffs and smile. There you go.
Yeah. 4 days of Download Festival, well, 3 days, because now we are beginning on the 4 days. Are there bands, are there scenes, are there something that stayed for you, wow?
I saw some really cool bands. I saw this band Graveyard, and there was proper like old school Sabbath groove, like they weren't fucking around. So I like that band. I'm excited. Duff McKagan's daughter's playing today. She plays in a band called the Pink Slips, so I'm excited to see her. I saw the Hives; they were pretty great. I saw the Foo Fighters last night, and you know, they reminded me of like rock and roll Radiohead in the sense of everybody in that band was an incredible musician. The drummer can just come off the drums and sing. The singer, guitar player Dave Grohl can go back on the drums and play the drums, and they were swapping out instruments and they're having fun and inviting their friends on stage and singing Queen songs. They were having fun, so. That was inspiring. I was like, oh, that's great. I saw Ghost. Ghost was great. I talked to the singer for Ghost for like an hour yesterday. What a neat dude. He's really centered, very clear, grounded, brilliant mind, good guy, and also a visionary. Like he has a vision, like you know, of what he wants to do. So like and it's hard. It's hard with the computer, and it's hard now. I would think harder. To keep the mystery of your band or be weird or whatever it is, and he's managed to do that, which I think is fascinating and inspiring in some sense. I'm psyched to see Volbeat today. Of course, Guns N' Roses. I saw Ozzie the other day. I'll tell you a cool story. So 2 years ago today, I was living in Verona, Italy, right? And I lived there for like a little over 3 months. And just me and this backpack, this exact backpack. And so I made friends with the orchestra people, or the orchestral players. And I made friends with this conductor named Andrea Battistoni. He's a genius, young guy, loves rock, but he's also like a big deal. And so he transposed Black Sabbath songs, Ozzie era, and some Ozzy Osbourne solo stuff, Diary of a Madman, Mr. Crowley, into I think it's 15th century Baroque music. And he did some Ugly Kid songs, and he did my other band, Richard's Crane, and we sang. I ended up on July 29th, 2016, I ended up singing with a 35-piece orchestra, no electric guitars, sold out the Ristori Theater, which is insane, the third oldest opera house in Verona, and filmed it on 7 cameras. And so for the last, year and 10 months I've been trying to get this fucking thing done, like get it done so it's like a Blu-ray or whatever. And so that just got done, and it got sent to my PR guy Olivier here, and then it's perfectly timed. So on the Ozzie day, the first day, I think Ozzie was the first day, I went backstage, hung out with Ozzie, put the Blu-ray in, showed him Hand of Doom and Diary of a Madman, and made him feel, and it made him so happy that someone was weird enough to do this. And so, you know, that kind of stuff's really fun for me, you know, because that's my hero. I mean, let's just say it. Ozzy's my fucking hero, and he's also my friend, but he's my hero. So, yeah. So I got Yellow Cake right now, which I just did an Ugly Kid Joe tour, and I opened up for myself with Yellow Cake. So Yellow Cake played first, which is my band, my new band, and then Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons played, and then Ugly Kid Joe. And then now that I have the proof that the Orchestra of Doom exists, I'm gonna tour that around the world. And yeah, I guess what was the you got to be on the pitch to score a goal. So you got to be out there, and no one's gonna. And another thing that I've been doing since I've been here for the last 4 days is making an effort to build community, because with the labels being dead and all those things, all those normal tools that aren't as strong as they used to be, based in finance, which is fine. The most important thing I think bands can do is help each other, jam on each other's records, make stories, make songs, make melody and rhythm. And so I've been, you know, networking a lot with different bands and telling them my philosophies, and I've been invited to sing on a couple different bands' records now, and I'm going to do that. So, you know, and I've never been to a festival. Like, I've played shit tons of festivals, right? I've played festivals. I kind of know what they are, but not really. Like, I play the festival, but I've never like walked out in the festival. So for the last 4 days, including today, the 4th day, you know, like I walk out and I see these weird bands, and I'm like, wow, this is fucking cool, because I've never had that experience based in the fact I'm working. And you know, when you're working, you got the mindset of working. So now I'm just, you know, this guy right here, nicest guy ever. He just bought me a coffee because I don't have any money, because it's like, what's it, cashless? What's it called?
Cashless.
Cashless. There's a little wristband that's cashless, but if you have money, which I have money and no wristband, you can't have a coffee. But what happens backstage here in the VIP area, they help you get the coffee. Just nice. He tried to make me drink beer.
That's technology.
Yeah, that is technology.
Wesley, tell me more about you. After Ugly Kid Joe, when you know the experience of Ugly Kid Joe made you very great, tour all around the world, a hit in States, in Europe, everything like that.
Yeah.
And after, how do you restart? How can you restart and to be like you? Because I see you. You're cool. You're man. You're very fit. You're safe. It's your open. Your mindset is very, I think, positive.
Yeah. Well, I suppose there's no definitive answer to that question. There's just how. I mean, let's just talk about what you are as a human being. In my mind, you're the sum of your experiences and your reaction to those experiences. And that would include success in music, being disposed of in music, you know, having a girlfriend, breaking up with your girlfriend, whatever it is, losing your job, getting a job, whatever all that is. So, and it's not easy being a human being, you know what I mean? Everyone has their weight. Everyone is in some psychic pain in some way. So I figure the move inclusive to surviving my musical career is having for me, just my opinion, is having a positive reaction. And if you are in some kind of a psychic warfare with yourself, that's okay, and that you can lean into that and evolve through it, or destroy yourself. And I've done a little bit of both. We all have. So, but you know, I've been very fortunate across the board. You know, I suppose you really have to just believe in yourself, right? Which is hard to do sometimes, depending where you are. You know, like if you had a big success in music and all of a sudden you don't, how do you feel about that? How, you know, that's a tough moment, because you may or may not predicate your happiness on this illusion of success, which is very seductive. You know, so I survived it somehow, and I feel really good. I've always been creative, so I've always been making art in some form, musical art. And then I think the thing I got going right now, which is really interesting, when Ugly Kid Joe broke up, probably was that February '97. I thought we'd probably get back together in 10 years, but we didn't get back together. And no one hated each other either. It wasn't like mean, but all of a sudden there was no band. And I was like, fuck, what's up? You know, I joined Life Agony for a year. I did Medication. I was in Another Animal. I mean, on and on it goes. But After 17 years in 2012, Ugly Kid Joe got back together. After 17 fucking years. That's a long time. And would people remember the band? Does anybody really care? Because you don't know. And for some reason, which is a gift of sorts, or just a gift, people do remember the band. So we've been touring since 2012, June 2012, funny enough, June 6, 2012. And we get to be a band together. Everyone's still alive. And so it's healing. It's cathartic. There's something really nice about it. And we're having fun. And making a couple bucks doing it, you know? And we're on the tour bus playing those songs. And I let go of all the music. I want to make new music anyway. You know, how many times do you really want to sing Everything About You? Not that many times. But I'll do it. But I'm like, I want to sing a new song. But the funny thing about that is, an interesting thing, fact, in my solipsistic fantasy, is when we play these shows now, you can see that we're the soundtrack for people's lives. Like, people like this band. And I didn't even think about that. So you're singing Milkman's Son or Everything About You or Cats in the Cradle or whatever it is, and people, it's their soundtrack, and there's something nice about that. So I look at one of my guitar players or the bass player or whoever on stage, and we see that transpiring. We just kind of look at each other. It's unsaid, like I'm saying it now in words, but the thing that goes on stage is you look at each other and go, "Wow, we did have some kind of effect," and it's a positive effect, as you said before.
So last question. So last question is, you're from California, you're an American,
Yeah.
but as you said in the interview, you have multiple experience. Italy, Australia, France.
Yeah.
It's not usual for an American.
Well, people with straight hair want curly hair, okay? And people with curly hair want straight hair. So for me, I'm grateful that I'm from California, and yay, it's where I'm from. But hooray. And I love my family and all that. But I don't live anywhere. I don't have an address, so this is my house. It's a black JanSport backpack. I have that. I have an accountant. I have a credit card. I have no felony record and a passport. So I just kind of wander around and create shit and then keep walking. And when I get bored, I leave and go make a new life. There it is.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. C'est magnifique.
C'est magnifique. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Good man.
Last question. The after last question.
Yeah.
I'm coming from Tunisia. Do you know Tunisia?
I know the word, but I want you to explain Tunisia to me. What are the top 3 things I should know about Tunisia?
You were in Italy?
Italiano, tu sei bella.
Okay. You look Italy, down Italy, you traverse, you cross Mediterranean Sea, and you're in Tunisia. You know Carthage, Hannibal.
No.
Yeah?
Is it awesome?
It's very big. It's awesome. It's North Africa.
Is it on the Mediterranean Sea?
It's on the
That's
Mediterranean,
what I
just
want.
in front of Sicily.
Do you guys have good food?
Very good food, better than in Italy.
Really? The Italians might have a thing or two to say about that one. But okay, cool. I'll go to Tunisia. That's all I need is someone to tell me where to go, and I'll go. Where should I go?
You come, and after you take your bag and you go. There's Mediterranean Sea, there's desert, there's everything you want.
I'm going to go to Tunisia.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Zanzana, l'émission métal.